All right, guys, take 3. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller. I'm a stay-at-home dad for my 6 kids, and I'm not good at recording on a phone after 3 years of having a YouTube channel on this phone. The first take I did entirely in slow-mo. The second take was 1 second where I clicked the button twice, thought I was recording, but it's go stop, and I got nothing. And then I looked at it, I was like, it's not recording after I was done. Do it again. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to my chaos. Here we go. These pins are I Conquered Expedition Everest mini Mickey Mouse collectible pins. These are a thing for Disney fans. My kids like them. I don't care much about them. They are neat, but what am I going to do with hat pins? I have a massive hat collection, but I wouldn't stick pins through my hats. Anyway, these were on a hat that I listed separately from the store buyout. They sold. I got nothing into that store buyout stuff. I'm way in the black a long time ago at this point, and these sold for $8, free shipping. They'll go to somebody who will love them. Webkins. This little dude, pug dog, Webkins, refers to the intranet. This is older-ish. Probably 5 or 6 years old. I wonder if it has a date on it. You put inside this envelope, which is essentially sealed. This tab goes all the way through the envelope. So if you'd opened it, that tab wouldn't be there anymore. You can use that serial number to like interact with the dog like a sim, I think. I'm not totally certain, but Webkins can be a good pickup as long as they have the sealed envelope with them, because like this would be a 50-cent plush at your thrift store and not worth selling without this envelope, but it sold for $19 in about a week when it has that call number. The guy that I bought all that Sega Genesis stuff off of, and a lot of my sales have been really, really good this week, and a lot of it's been video game stuff, but not all of it. And like I say a lot, sales beget sales. So if you can get stuff listed that's gonna sell, eBay's gonna drive traffic to your store, even on the things that aren't the high ticket items, the quick moving stuff that so you're more, if you're selling more, you're more likely to sell more because eBay trusts that the things that you're listing are worth selling. But I bought all of that video game stuff, and it has performed fantastically well, but I'm irritated. And the deal is, the guy I bought it from, I did not ask if the Sega worked because ultimately it did not matter to me. I have a Sega to test the games. I knew that the margin was well within what I was comfortable with. I was making more money than I would expect to, but he said what he was wanting to take for it, and I was willing to pay that price. He volunteered 4 times that the Sega Genesis, that it's working. Like, hey, all of this stuff, you know, and the Sega does work, blah, 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 and all of these games, you know, that's a working Sega, so it's got some value. It doesn't work. The power cord that it came with did not work. So I went and got mine. I plugged it in. It powered on. I tested it. The AV cable where you hook it from here to the TV wasn't even for a Model 1, did not fit into it. So it didn't, so there's no way that it was tested with the equipment that I got. And this is why I started getting all these things that I have complete in box. I started collecting complete in box consoles for that kind of reason. Like, oh, I got this thing. Can I test the console? I can. If I have a complete in box one, then I know I have the right AV cable and the right power cable, and I can test this thing. I have an AV cable that I know works. I have a power cable that I know works. This does not send a signal with my tested working system stuff. But also the two power cables, one fit this and one did not. Neither of them worked at all. The AV cable, two AV cables, one fit it, but was physically broken. Like the part you would put in here was broken. You could not make it. You couldn't fix it. It wouldn't work. The other one was not for this. None of that stuff None of the wires worked for that. So I was able to test it. But the point is, don't say it works if you didn't test it. Just tell me it didn't work. We already made the sale. Why feel like you need to tell me 4 times that it is working when you don't know that and it isn't working? And I'm making plenty of money. I'm not irritated about the being ripped off for this thing because I thought it was working. I don't care about that. I care about being forthright. If you didn't test it, tell me you didn't test it, and I would have paid the same amount of money anyway. That's just aggravating because it didn't work. And I would, if he had said, I didn't test it, I wouldn't have gone into it assuming it worked. If he had said it doesn't work, I wouldn't have wasted my time testing it. But it is what it is. Speaking of things that don't work, this here does work. I bought it for $4. The front door was busted off of it, and I assumed that it didn't work, but they sell pretty decent for parts. It's been listed for a month and a half, and it sold for $40 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $77. It's not going to cost me that much to ship it, for sure. The door is broken off, but it's tested and working. I actually tested it, and it actually works. But it doesn't come with a remote. It doesn't come with cables. It doesn't. I figured this person who's buying it like this isn't going to be impressed that it comes with an AV cable and the remote and the. Some people will go as far as to print off an instruction manual and add that third-party instruction manual. I don't think it's worth all of that. This was listed for a month and a half for $40 plus shipping, and it sold. Buyers all in at $77, so I should make some money on the shipping too. I told you the other day that the last time that this Ninja thing was the first part to sell, and that the carafe had sold and been canceled. Well, then it sold last night, and the buyer messaged me immediately and said, hey, I put in the wrong address. Can you ship it to this other address? I do not do that as a rule. Just so that I don't have to think about whether or not this person's trustworthy. I don't do that. I cancel the order, buy a problem with the buyer's address. That's what eBay would have you do. But I mean, it's not like if it's somebody who's bought from you before, if it's somebody who if it's not worth taking the chance of losing the sale, it's not the end of the world. Just if the person's trying to mess with you, they will get away with it if you do that. But if you're selling a $6 item and you're like, whatever, I don't care. It's fine to do that. You just understand that you lose your seller protection, and 90% of the time that's going to be fine because most buyers on eBay are honest. But I don't do it just as a rule so that it's not something that I think about. No, I don't do that. So the buyer messaged me, said, hey, I bought this. I put the wrong address in. Can you ship it to this new address? Before I responded, canceled the order. And this was like 11:30 at night. So I didn't assume that I would hear back from them. I messaged them and said, hey, that's against eBay policy. I can't do it that way. Let me cancel the order. I'll repost it with a best offer available. You send me the offer that $20 that we agreed on. I'll accept it, and you can put in the correct address. And he messaged me back and said, oh, never mind. I'll just ship it to the original address, and I'll have whoever's there, I'll have them get it to me, but I won't be there. And it was almost like I had you ship it to my parents' house and I moved out, kind of an impression that I got, but it doesn't matter. And I was like, well, I already canceled it, so sorry about that. Jumped the gun a little bit on that one, but he did go ahead and pay for it. Again, $20 free shipping. I thought it was worth a lot more because I looked at only the sold comps when I comped the machine, and the sold comp, the only sold comp for this was $45, but there were 3 listed at $25. So I listed mine with the comps best offer, took a $20 offer, and it is sold. I sold it for, I paid $8.11 because that's what appliances are, $8.11. I don't know how they settled on that number, but so this sold for $20 free shipping. The other piece sold for $14 free shipping. I've got another piece that's like $12 free shipping. So I'll probably double my money, but I wouldn't say that this was necessarily worth picking up. I thought the carafe was worth more. The Ninja is a good brand to look out for in your small appliance aisles at your thrift store. I always comp Ninja, Cuisinart, and KitchenAid. Those are the three that I always comp. There are a handful of weird branded blenders. Anything that looks like a blender that you could blend a brick in, that I always comp those. Any blender that just says blend in the title, Vita Blend, there's a couple of them that are like $300 blenders, and you like, it's not something you're gonna find a stand mixer or a rice cooker. This is blender only technology, and those companies tend to do really well. But and like West Bend has some good parts, some good stuff, and some hot trash. So you can reliably comp Ninja, KitchenAid, and Cuisinart without wasting your time. There will be some that'll be good. There'll be some that aren't good, but more often than not, if they're priced reasonably, those three brands are going to have the best hit ratio, if you will. And then the only other thing that sold a video game thing since last night, like 10 hours ago, when I recorded the video you're watching right now, Sega Genesis Tips 1 and 2 sold for, I had them listed for $24. I got 2 watchers in 5 hours. I sent a 10% off offer to those 2 watchers. One of them bit $21.60. Sold out the door. Arrivederci. Thank you for paying quickly. That is everything for this couple minutes. I got to get this stuff shipped. Okay, so I have an offer on this item. It's $89. I'm going to click on the listing to show you that in the listing it is $89 free shipping. Now, if I go back to this page and we look at the respond to offer, and I know some people would do a screen share, but I don't know how to do that crap. I ain't that guy. You go into $70 plus shipping. That says $70 plus shipping, and the listing is not plus shipping. And if I accept this offer, it will not add shipping to the charge. eBay needs to fix that. It happens in the app too. It used to just not say one way or the other, and now it says plus shipping on everything. And that is unacceptable, ridiculous stupidity. eBay, fix it. I have company in the store. Look, hi. When I tell you she spends all of our money on Disney, I'm not lying. Mickey, mini earrings, mini coffee cup ears. It's a thing. Why do people assume that their international taxes are my issue? Like, I can take what I can take, and you're shopping outside of your country, and there are rules about that. Why? I do not understand why you have to pay more to shop outside of your country. You want the thing, this is the price, and then you have to pay taxes. That's how it works. I don't understand those messages. My hair got a little nuts. All right, so I think today is part 2 of the video, and yesterday I found a random box of PS1 games that were things that I was like never gonna list on eBay because they were worth like $3, $5, and I could have put them in lots, but I decided yesterday, I'm like, I'm just gonna pop up and do a whatnot auction. A couple of viewers showed up, 3 people bought all of it, and I ended up making, I'll put it up, $83 on 33 lots that were bought by 3 people. It took me 45 minutes, and so that is valuable to me because A, I made money on it instead of letting it sit in the death pile, and B, when you get to 1,000 sales on whatnot, then you can recover that money immediately. You don't get paid out. It's Mercari rules for the first 1,000. So 3 days after delivery, then they release your money. But once you sell over 1,000 items, you get what they call automatic payout. And so as soon as the show's over, the money shows up that you can cash it out. So getting to that 1,000, I mean, like, it's 6 one, half a dozen the other. The money will be there eventually, but it's nice to know that you can just cash it out immediately. If you're like, oh man, I need $40 to take the kids to the drive-through on the way to something, like, we're not that strapped for cash, but it would be neat to be able to be like, okay, like you guys have seen Harry Tornado do, like, I just went to the bins, I bought 40 items, let's run them on Whatnot. We made $90 today on the $7 we spent on 40 items at the Goodwill bins. That's much more feasible that way. So I sold a bunch of PS1 games tonight. This should release today. Tonight we're running a box full of hats. I sold a bunch of hats. I can't get out of my own way here. Sold a bunch of hats on eBay, but I held a bunch back, and we're gonna run these for $1 tonight on Whatnot. So check the description in the video if you want to join us on Whatnot and buy some hats for $1. I mean, probably some of them will, probably a lot of them will go for $1, but there'll probably be some more expensive ones too. And we have 10 sales, good sales. My sales have been really, really good. $400 yesterday, $600 and $700 the day before. If I could keep this up, I could retire the wife, but I just don't think it's quite sustainable. I'm in a really good season at the moment. So let me go grab the stuff and we'll talk about what sold. Okay, so just a couple of things that have sold today. Actually, this is the only thing that sold today. Slice hat. I almost kept this, but I really don't wear mesh back truckers very much. This is a cool hat. I had it listed for $18 and just kept getting $10 offers from people in Malaysia. I ended up, and I countered almost all of them at $16. Somebody finally bit at $16 plus shipping in the United States, plus they're paying international. So this sold for this morning for $16 plus shipping. Buyers all in for me at $22, but they're having it shipped to Malaysia, so they're not all in at $22. Whatnot pickup. I think I paid $6. Me and another guy were battling it out at $1 a bid. This had a thing on a sticker on the front of it that said it was on clearance for $15 in 2011. It's dated 2010 on the back. New old stock bed sheets, and I think they're full, so they're full size instead of twin. A lot of these IP twin bed things are twin size, and that doesn't help anybody out. Nobody likes a twin. Vintage. I don't know this. Total T. H. Miller. Herman Miller. H.L. Miller. Jesus tees do fairly well. I don't know if this is that. This doesn't have any branding on it. It's single stitch in the sleeve, but it's double stitch in the hem, which puts it kind of right at that late 90s Y2K most likely. And these Jesus tees do fairly well. It's a niche of vintage t-shirt, like, you know, vintage band t-shirts do well, vintage fishing t-shirts do well, vintage nature t-shirts do well, vintage Jesus t-shirts do well. So it's a genre of collectible vintage t-shirt. This game came in all of those games. It price charted at $30. I listed it for $33. Took an offer at $30.69 free shipping. We picked up this hat for $4 at an estate sale. It is The Cord by Sports Specialties, which makes it The Cord is because it's corduroy, and Sports Specialties is a really good tag. This one's not in great shape, but it is a cool hat. I thought for a minute about keeping it, but not necessarily all that into Notre Dame, and I don't know. I thought it would sell for more. I've had it for at least 6 months, and it ended up selling for $18 on an offer. These I paid $5 or $6 for on Whatnot. 2 giant elephant heads. And I thought they were brass, like, water squirters. The guy didn't even say what they were. He's just like, these are what we're selling. Turns out they are curtain rod holders. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to use that to play with the kids in the yard. I thought they were crazy looking, I mean, they are crazy looking things, but I thought they were crazy looking yard art, not wall decor. Anyway, they sold for $30, free shipping. They're gonna suck to ship, but I mean, I'll figure it out. It's just gonna take a big box and maybe go UPS. We'll figure it out. Steel Empire, I think I already showed this because it sold, but the buyer hadn't paid yet, and I didn't realize they hadn't paid yet. So this sold for $65, free shipping, but I think I already showed that in one of the last videos. These shoes I think I paid 11 or 12. They were in the front case at my local Goodwill. They're in really nice shape. I had them listed for $59, and then I put them on sale for $49, and then I got an offer for $41, and that's still profitable, so I took it because I'm into profits, not inventory, so I don't need to hold the stuff when I get a reasonable, profitable offer. This woman is driving me nuts. Bought this. You guys may remember I picked this up a couple weeks ago at the Helping Hands. I think it was in a bag. I think it was marked $2.50. It wasn't very much, but it and I bought it without comping it, thinking it would do well. There weren't very many sold comps for it because one person had it listed for like 50, and there was a sold comp for an auction that got one bid at like $15.99 or something. I didn't sell it for much. This shirt, the same woman, I say woman because the word girl is in her username, so I'm assuming then that the buyer is a woman. Like, I can't tell what kind of horse that is, and the shirt looks like it's from a thrift store or garage sale, so it's not worth very much. And I'm like, then don't buy it. Or like, what do you think you're buying on eBay? Whatever. She paid $35 all in for both of those things. I don't recall what each of them sold for individually. I don't think. I think the shirt was $9, and if she's $25 pre-shipping, that would put that thing at like 16. The horse trailer thing at like 16 bucks. I bought this at the Goodwill, circa Washington, Illinois. Long sleeve M&M Big Face, 2011. That's where you find a date on the M&M shirts. They're not super collectible. This is a pretty good one. I remember like, well, those don't do super well, but it's only, and I think it was like $3.50. It wasn't the $5.50 that t-shirts are all the time now. So I picked it up because it was cheap, and it took 6 or 8 weeks and sold for $17.99. Sonic the Hedgehog, the classic game, not for resale, and yet I resold it. There are people who think that this means you can't sell it. That Sega would prefer you not resell it. And that is not the purpose of this. This is marked not for resale because it was the pack-in with the Sega Genesis when you bought it, and it came with Sonic the Hedgehog in the console, in the box with the console. And so it was packed together with the console, and then people would, get this game, buy the console, get this, and try to take it back to the store and get $60 back for the game, and then essentially get the console at a cheaper price. And so, or like small mom and pop video game stores could buy the inventory that they need, take these games out, sell the consoles at a premium and the games separately, and so that this designation is intended to keep people from doing that. It doesn't have anything to do with resale the way I do it. It's to discourage fraud in the market when this thing was brand new. So if you see games that say not for resale, they tend to be more collectible, but unfortunately this one is kind of less collectible that way, because this was a pack-in with most of the Segas that sold. Sega Genesis was not selling well when they were packing in Altered Beast. And so then it really took off when they packed this one in with it. And so the Altered Beast one is a non-trademark security system, generally speaking, which makes it a higher end console, and it's a rarer variant than the Sonic one. And then this game came in the console when you bought the console, and that's the way most people got this game. So the not for resale ones are uglier because they have the marking all over them, but also more common because people weren't buying this game off the shelf because they were getting it with their Sega. And so for that reason, this is less collectible, and people generally only buy it because they have a complete in box one that's missing the game, and you want to put this in the box. That's the way mine is in the house. Has this game inside of it that's not for resale to make it fully complete. The reason that I say all of that is to say, like, this game, the Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, the box for that game is astronomically rare. Because almost every Super Nintendo that ever sold, there were some variants, and those variants are worth money, but for the first 6 years the Super Nintendo was a thing, it was packed with Super Mario World. So in one variant or another, like I have one that came with 2 separate cartridges, All-Stars and Super Mario World. They made a single cartridge out of those, and so there's a variant that's that way. There's a variant that doesn't include the All-Stars and only includes Super Mario World. But the point is, everybody got that game when they bought the Super Nintendo, so almost nobody went into Toys R Us, pulled Super Mario World off the shelf and bought it in the box. So there are almost none of those boxes that exist. And so if you find Super Mario World in the box, I'll put up some comps of the empty box. It's crazy. That's it. That's what sold today. I think I'm just going to pack this, get you guys this video. Tonight, Tuesday, we're going to do this Whatnot auction for hats. Tomorrow I'm doing video game accessories. Check the link. If you haven't already signed up for Whatnot, you can go through my link, sign up, and you get a kickback, I get a kickback. You can spend money either in my store or anywhere on Whatnot for signing up. I get a little bit of a kickback, and then you can come to my hat auction and say hi. I also have links to my new vlog style channel, which is going really well. I'm excited about it. The video that I edited yesterday was called "This Is Not Going to Plan." So little teaser, there's some hiccups along the way on the new channel. It's dropping April 4th, I think, is when I have those videos scheduled to drop. So it's going to be probably 6 or 8 videos on there when the whole thing opens up. So go check that out. Go subscribe over there, and you'll be ready to watch those videos as soon as they fall. That's not going to be reseller content. It's going to be my life content. But I feel like a lot of people here have a connection, and we're a community, and you like to see other things other than reselling. But thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, following, clicking the bell, following the links, and all the things that you do. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks.